Anyway, we're going to ask John to come up and talk. He's been waiting a long... There he is. He's come a long way from Dundee to speak. So, contrary to a lot of people, up in Scotland, it's always sunshine. Anyway, this is John Smith. It'll be about the common law courts.
Yes?
Do you want to hold it or?
Hold.
Thank you.
Hello. Thank you for staying on. And actually,
Make the microphone close.
yeah, sorry. Thank you for staying behind, and again, thanks for Tom and the Chartist Movement for having me along. This is something that I'd like to clarify from the start before we proceed. People have asked about the Common Law Court. Basically, what it is, right?
Hold on.
Yeah.
Can you do that quietly on the way ahead?
Okay, sorry, we'll proceed again. What we'd like to clarify just now, before we proceed, is there's one or two things that have come to light. People have asked about the Common Law Court. There's simple questions that happen and say, well, first of all, who is the Common Law Court? Well, the Common Law Court is you. It's not an individual, there's not a building, it's something which is available to the public, which everyone can use. As it happens, as is coincidentally, I came from, believe it or not, speaking about rigged systems, I came from the casino industry. I was a general manager. I exposed as a whistleblower something which was happening within the industry. The government didn't like it and hung me out to dry. I ended up shafted, loss of career, loss of home, loss of everything, finances. I then tried to go to a statutory court to try and obtain a lawful remedy, which got nowhere. It finished me off, I lost everything. Having thought about that and being naive, going to the statutory courts for remedy, I stood and thought about it. What I've established after a lot of research, now it doesn't matter where you are, whether it's England, Ireland, Scotland, Wales, there's no justice in this country, not in the statutory courts. The statutory courts, as they call them, are not courts, as everyone's confirmed, and which you'll know, they're places of business. That's it, right? Now, I'll turn it around when I ask you questions. I'm going to put information to you which I'd like you to think about, right? At this moment in time, if you suffer a wrong, right, how do you address it? How do you obtain a lawful remedy? If you go to one of their systems, the courts, the places of business, first of all, you have to pay to lodge papers, to present a case. You have to obtain a solicitor, a lawyer, an advocate. You then pay for adjustments. You pay for a hearing. They'll award expense against you. There'll then be a diet, a pre-hearing. There'll be further evidence required, more submissions, more costs. Then you may find that you'll get a hearing. If you get a hearing, that's fine. It won't be finished then. There'll be 2 or 3 hearings. The chances are you will not get what you want. And if you do are lucky enough to get a decision, you'll get a small settlement. The chances are you won't get what you want, and then you have to go back and appeal. More money, more expense, more time. As it happened, it took me about £16,000 and probably 6 years of arguing. I ended up bankrupt because of it. Now, because of that and the effect on the family, I thought about it. I said, no, I don't know if it's part of the nature of being from Scotland, or obviously just that I don't like wrong. As far as I'm concerned, if you suffer a wrong, you have the right to a lawful remedy. End of story. Now, if I ask you to think about it from your own position, if somebody caused you harm, loss or injury, right, you have a lawful remedy. Where do you go? Do you have it in the existing system? In my opinion, no, because I've proven it. If you wish to use the existing system, fine, okay, best of luck. Right? I said, you won't get anywhere, but I said, just dial up yourself. I thought about it after a while and I said, no, there's something wrong with this. You need to sit and think about it rationally. Now, people going about Magna Carta, they're going about taking on the government, the statutory system. Look, as far as I'm concerned, if you're born, when you're born, you exist, you are created. Doesn't matter where you are. And unfortunately, I quite like it up in Scotland. I'm not going to have a pop of the weather here, right? And I do come south occasionally. So, on that point, look, it doesn't matter where you are. If you're born free, right? You have rights, right? Inherent rights. This is, now, you can claim for a lawful remedy if you suffer a wrong, right? That's the end of story. If you're looking at sides, which I'm not going to do, in my opinion, you have the statutory system, then you have the people, and that's it. That's all there is, right? Now, you can try any method you want for taking them on, but unless you deal with them on equal terms, you're not going to succeed. I've stood there like an idiot in court, and I've stood, I've looked at things, I've looked at lawful billing, I've looked at various things, and I've looked at various arguments, and you stand there, I'm the free man on the land, great, I've been in court. I've refused to go to court, I've put them on notice, I've done everything, I've been there. They still took my money. They said, I ended up bankrupt, they didn't listen to me. If you stand in court, the first thing you do, right, you Mr. John Smith, it normally works out like that, but are you Mr. John Smith? No. Who are you? I said, you Mr. John Smith? No. My name is John Smith. I stand as a man under common law. I claim common law jurisdiction. The answer that came back in the Scottish courts, we don't do common law here. We have Scots common law, which is different from your common law. We don't have common law here. I thought, well, I'm not really interested in what you think you have. I'm saying that I'm claiming common law jurisdiction. Not interested. They ruled against me. And that was it. End of story. I went back and I thought about it. I said, hold on a minute. No, this is wrong, this. I said, first of all, if you think about it, I've listened to many people and I've learned a lot over the years. But when you actually go into court, I said, for those, and I apologise because I presume everyone here knows it, so I'll be brief. When you're born, your parents were informed they had to register your birth. That's it. They register your birth, but the government decide that they want to use the fiction. They create an identity which is attached to every person here. They've created a person, a corporation. That's it. Now that is used throughout your whole life. The government use it. That's it. If you look at your driving licence, the name on the driving licence is your corporation. That's it. If you're being clever, they're actually being funny with it. If you watch the new Experian television adverts, you get the twins. This is two people. The guy says, hello, my name's whatever he says. And he says, and there's a twin version with glasses. He says, this is my data self. The data self is a legal fiction, right? They're actually blatantly telling you now that you're not just a man, a living, breathing man. You have a data fiction. That is your legal fiction. They're telling you. It's there. So it's an open secret. Everyone knows it. Now the point being is when you go to one of their supposed courts, places of business, they claim jurisdiction over you. Why? Because it's a place of business. Now, if you think about it rationally, say, right, how does this work? So, right, when you go into their court, they won't accept you, right? If you say that you're a man and you stand under common law, right, you can shout as loud as you want, right? They're going to look at you and say, right, okay, fine, no, I'm interested, they'll turn away. We've actually had that happen recently. Now, the point being is, you have, as a man, you've nothing, no authority to back you up. Nothing. And I thought, well, that's wrong. There must be something here. So I think, well, they use the legal fiction. The legal fiction has been created because of a birth certificate. I thought, right, okay. I said, well, that's in a statutory system. It's all statutes, laws, contracts. I thought, right, okay. So, right, well, if I go in and I have to be recognised and claim jurisdiction, I stand under common law. I thought, right, okay. I thought, hold on a minute. I should have a common law birth certificate. I should have a common law birth certificate. Now, the difference being is, this has been developed over this because I lost various things and I ended up bankrupt, as I says, lost a lot of money. Now, this happened because of the lawful remedy that I looked for as to obviously re-establish my position and to confirm everything that I had suffered, the wrong that was done, and to put me back to the position I should have been in. Now, I convened the first common law court, which was only 9 months ago, so that's the way this started. From then, the people have actually turned around and said, look, can we use it as well? Well, it's not my common law court. I convened a common law court to deal with my lawful remedy. But because I've used it, and because the system's there, it's available to everyone. So if the people turn around and say, yeah, okay, we like that, we want to use it, fine, use it. it's your court, you use it. They say, well, where's the building? There's not a building. If you convene a court, if you've suffered a wrong, you say, right, I'm going to convene a court. Well, you convene a court where you stay in the area where you can get a building. You get a building, you display the notices, you open up the doors to the public come in and you convene your own court. So it's the court is set up through the people. You follow a lawful process, you set it up, you appoint court officials, you appoint jury members. They're selected randomly, you present your case, you get a verdict. This is what we do is to make it, just so you cannot question it, what we've actually said is, look, take the ultimate. Instead of having a majority decision, which is unacceptable in the statutory system, and everyone will argue against it, says, no arguments. If we go to common law court, you prove a case, we have a jury of 12, we go for a unanimous decision. Therefore, we know 100% the people are behind you. So that's the way we've done it. If you don't get a unanimous decision, you don't get the verdict. That's it. So you use this and set it up. Now, having done that and set this up, I'll just go back slightly. When you convene these courts, it's the people actually convene themselves, providing you're actually standing as a man and not a fiction or a woman, and you stand as a man or a woman under common law, you have the right to do this. The authorities cannot prevent it because you have this authority to convene the courts. You have a right to lawful remedy which cannot be prevented. Now, by doing that and taking them on in their courts, as we went back to the birth certificate situation, we've developed the concept further. Various people have came, and men and women, and said, look, this is great, what about this, what about that, should we not get that? So through the people, we've said, yes, okay, we'll do certain things. Now, to clarify 1 or 2 points, the only recognition of the common law court in existence is a website. The website was created for one reason and one reason only. Because when we convene a common law court, anyone, the information from the trial has to be made public. So therefore there has to be a record. The easiest way to get the information out is to put it on the web. So we set up a website, that's it. That's, sorry, there we go. Is one of the pages behind us. And literally what happened is the website was created, so we put information on there to let people know about it, and as more people convene courts, rather than having 100, 1,000 different pieces of information on the web, what we're saying is, look, if you want to run a common law court, there's a facility there. When you do that and you have the process, if you wish to post the information and make it public, do it through a site. There's no charge for this. It's not a business, it's not a corporation, it's not a charity. It's for information and it's for the people to use if they wish to do so. Having done that, when people come back, they've asked about various things, so we've said, right, we will do X, Y, and Z. Now, on the subject of the legal fiction and the standing of a man or woman under common law, what we've done to address it, we've said, right, we're going to make a few changes here. If you confirm, now, this is a big thing here, which I'll say to everyone in the room, you have a choice. You can choose to live day-to-day life, work with the statutory system, and deal with them. That's fine, that's not a problem. I don't have a problem with the statutory system. The problem I have with it is the people that run it. They're corrupt, they commit treason, they're fraudulent. He says they shouldn't be in the job, right? They should be held accountable for crimes. They're not. In common law they will be, right? If the people choose it. Now, the statutory system protect these people regardless of what they do. We're speaking about people, as been mentioned, people like Melanie Shaw just out. There's quite a lot of people that happens to. Everyone in this room will know someone that's been on the receiving end of the statutory system. Now, there's no justice here. You're suffering wrong and it's happening every day, right? That being the case, you have the choice to do something about it now. You have the choice to turn around and say, right, okay, am I going to do something? Am I going to march in the streets? Am I going to use violence? Am I going to take over buildings? What am I going to do? Am I going to do all this? No, you don't have to, right? With the power of the people, you can stand together, convene your own courts, and you can turn around and say, no, we're going to declare we stand under common law. Now, there's a facility on the website which is free of charge, right? If you turn around and say, yeah, I quite like this guy, he says, okay, I like that, yeah, okay, like, what can I do? Now, I'm not going to turn around and tell you here, this is me as an individual speaking here, right? I'm explaining what happened to me, and I'm explaining my thoughts on common law. I don't give two about legalese. Right? I'm not interested in it. I'm not interested in the system. I'm not dealing with all this crap. We've used words on the site, and we've had people come back and say, yeah, but what about this? I'm not keen on this. Couldn't care less. I said, look, we've created a birth certificate. People says, yeah, great idea, free of charge. All you need to do is put your birth information on, you can record it, register it. And they say, we don't like that, don't like register. I said, why not? They say, well, register. I said, no, you give that away to the government. I said, no, crap, forget it. I'm not interested. You're getting wound up about words. It's stupid. Think about the basics. Look, if you register something, if you record it, in their system, legalese, to register something, you give it to the government, right? The government take ownership. If you're in common law, right, you stand under common law, you've got nothing to do with them. You don't accept legalese. If you do not accept legalese, you do not accept their terminology and their meaning. You can use any word you want. It means nothing. Right? They say, yeah, okay, that's fine. And then when we've done that, we say, well, you put in your information free of charge. By doing that, it's free of charge, but the numbers accumulate. More and more people do this, the more power you have. The people stand together. Now, this was set up, it's 9 months and 7 days since the first court was convened. There's been 3 courts, we've dealt with 33 verdicts. There's another court to be convened soon. We have contact from, I think, 73 countries in the world are tracking this. So we've got visits for over 700 cities, and in relation to birth registrations, we've had people from 19 different countries recording their births. We've got contact on a weekly basis from people in other countries saying, look, we want this, we want to use this. Now when people have came back and says, look, we all fight the system, we all deal with the system, they're all corrupt, this is what we're finding. But the problem is, they haven't put something into place to deal with it. Now, to go further slightly, because when you look at something, if you follow it through, you cannot just say, right, okay, I'm a man, I stand under common law. It doesn't matter, but then the time you have I've got a birth certificate. Now that changes things slightly, right? Now what happened, I'll give you, there's 4 hearings that we've used this documentation. There are more documents here which we'll explain about. The first one is a birth certificate. Now if you wish to claim common law, when you go into a court, one of their courts, and I'm referring to courts because they use courts, I couldn't care less what they call them, right? So at the end of the day, it's their place of business. They say it's a court, fine. If the judge stands and says, well, I'm entering a new stand, I couldn't care less. Out of courtesy, I might stand, couldn't care less. If they call you forward, say come forward, they use Admiralty law, maritime law, Roman law, it doesn't matter, couldn't care less. I'm not accepting it, right? If they call me forward, they're calling me forward. Now, I don't mind going into court, because the point being is, if people, now, this is the thing here, some of the things we're doing here will take time to set up, right? That's fine, I don't have a problem with that. Unfortunately, I know people that are having children removed, right, by the authorities. I'm going to court this week to help someone, right, by using this system. Now, they're having a child removed through no fault of the parent, but because she took on the government, so they removed the child. You've got people being made bankrupt daily, weekly. It's happening all over. You've got people losing their property. You've got people being fined for stupid charges. It's all about money. This is affecting people on a day-to-day basis, right? It's affecting you in all walks of life, right? It's ridiculous. They shouldn't get away with it. You should have a way to address it. I thought, right, okay, think about it. So, right, we've got the man perfected, right? We've got the man, so we've got the birth certificate. So that's fine. Now, the reason for supplying birth certificates is when we actually said, well, we can do this to record the birth and register it. And I'm not worried about the word, because it's common law, and it basically just means make a declaration. So if you're asked for birth details and you want to record, register your birth, all you're doing is making a declaration. And the declaration is you were born. You're telling us you were born. You're putting it on here as a record for the public, and that's it. No cost, no charge. Not about money, nothing like that. It's about justice. So you've confirmed your position. When we do that, say, great, but can I get a certificate? Oh, Christ. So we say to them, now what they've done is they want this. So I said, right, fine, okay. I thought, look, we can't do this. This is ridiculous. He said, no, but we need a certificate. I thought, right, hold on. If you take a certificate, it's a court document. because it's through the court, because it's the people, it's not one individual, it's the people. The people wanted to say, we want this document. I thought, right, fine. So basically, said we've used the concept here. You've got a court stamp, we've got this court sign. This is you've got the people dictating what's happening, and we says, right, here's a birth certificate. Now we don't charge money for it. We don't charge. We don't make money in it. We say, right, okay. If it's a court document, we send out. I do not want to turn round and says, if you've ordered a certificate, I don't want to turn round, put it in the post and send it to yourself, because obviously it's your certificate. So what we do is we send it off recorded delivery. So it gets to the person or the man or the woman that's sent for it, and that's it. It says for that, the cost of the documents, I've got a sample documents here, a couple of them, which I'll show you later on in a minute. We've actually put them into court, but the point is these documents are stamped by the court and they are official court documents. Right? Now the court it is, it's a people's court, it's a common law court, it's a true court, and it's a lawful court. Right? Now, when you get that, that gives you the first strike. So, if someone's attacking you and they drag you into their court, you have a right not to go. On one occasion, well, on one occasion, but one occasion in particular, I didn't go. They ruled against me and it cost me dearly, right? Now, it didn't matter that I was right, they were wrong, and I put them on notice, they still made the decision. Now, they take away homes, they take away children, they fine you. So if somebody's attacking me, they're not getting away with it. I thought, no, sorry, I'm going into court. So I go into court. Now, if I'm in court, I'll go there. They don't have jurisdiction over me. They've got no authority over me. If I'm going into a building, I'm going into a public building, right? They say it's a court. Well, it's not. It's a place of business. I'm not giving two stuffs. They can call it Buckingham Palace if they want. I couldn't care less. I go in to protect myself because they're attacking me. So you stand there, they call you forward, I go forward. Doesn't matter where it is, whether it's a dock or wherever they call you, you say, look, come forward. So you go forward and say, right, I present myself, my name's John Smith, I stand under common law, I confirm my position. He said, not only that, he said, but I've recorded my birth with a common law court, I have a common law birth certificate confirming that my mother, bam, here, here's my certificate. Now, we've actually tested this and used it. So just to explain further, the fact we've took these documents in, we've put them into the courts in Scotland, the courts in England, and in England we've given it to the Lord Chief Justice. We've given it to the Cabinet Minister for Justice in Downing Street. We've given it to mortgage companies, we've given it to banks, we've given it to police and bankruptcy trustees, everyone. Not one of them has turned around and says anything about the document. They just say, oh, we don't want it, take it back, that's it. Now, if this, and it's only the first step, if there was something dodgy about that, I would have been hauled over the coals and been thrown into jail, right? It's not. It's a lawful document. It's issued by a court of the people. It's higher standing than what they perceive to be courts. It is a proper lawful court. Now, when you get this and it's stamped, it's for the people. If they do not accept this, the government or the statutory authorities are committing a crime against the people. So you've got strike one. Now we went into court, it wasn't myself, I said, because again, this is, other people are using this. One of the individuals, a friend I've got to know, he said, wanted to use this in a court in Scotland. So he went into court in Scotland and he said, right, okay, we need these documents. So he went in and he said, right, bang, here's my birth certificate. He said, you don't have jurisdiction, you don't have authority. He said, you can't proceed. The sheriff, which is equivalent to the judges here, said, Sheriff Dunn, he said, no, it's my court. It's my court, I've got jurisdiction. He said, no, you don't. He said, I stand under common law, I have a common law birth certificate confirming I'm a man, you have no authority, bangs my certificate. So he looked at it, he wasn't happy about it. And he then told me, right, okay, right, what I will do is I'll confirm this is my court, I've got authority. However, what I will say is I do not have personal jurisdiction over you, the man. Bang, strike one, that's it. So if you stand in one of their courts and you stand up and produce this stuff, they do not have control or authority over you as a man. So that's the first one. Now, what's the difference between this and somebody standing before, like I did, the year before, a couple of years before? The difference is the common law court and a common law court document. They're presented with that. They cannot rule against it. It's a common law court document and it's a people's court, right? I've established my birth under common law. I exist, I'm a man. I stood there before shouting. They said, no, I'm interested. They wouldn't listen to me, right? They won't listen. As soon as you produce a certificate, bang, I exist, they've done it. They use the legal fiction. They use a birth certificate. Common law has never used that. Bang, now you've got it. So you take in, you've got proof of birth, right? You have a birth certificate, we've had acknowledgement they have no jurisdiction over you. Strike one, that's it. Now, on the next point, to develop this further, because there's always a further development, if they have no jurisdiction or control or consent from an individual man, the only thing they can deal with is a legal fiction, which is what they use, contracts. Right, okay, well think about it, which I did. And I spoke to a few people, as I said, it's not just myself, I spoke to a few people and said, right, well think about this rationally. If they're attacking you now, you've established you're a man, so they can't attack you. Right, okay. But they've got the legal fiction. They're still attacking me. There's someone right here. So right, okay, they've got a legal fiction, how does this work? Go back to basics. Don't use common law, don't think about this, play them in their game. What is the legal fiction? Well, when you were born, your parents were told they had to register you. So there's a birth certificate. It was created by the birth certificate established the legal fiction. The legal fiction is used by the government, right? They can do whatever they want with it. There's various people speak about trusts and various other things. I'm not interested, right? All I'm interested in is they can't use it against me, right? And I thought, right, okay, so we'll deal with this. They created the legal fiction, right? Think about it. What is it? Well, technically it's a contract. It's a contract, and according to their rules, right, rules, that's all they are, they're not laws. According to their rules, a contract, there has to be full disclosure, right? If there's full disclosure, that's fine. There wasn't. Your parents weren't told about it. You certainly weren't told. You wouldn't know your baby. But it says, therefore, they have this fiction. There's no full disclosure. So you stop and say, right, think about it. According to their rules, if there's no full disclosure, what does that mean? Well, it's void. If it's void, they can't use it. So the use is unlawful. I thought, right, okay, that's fine. Now, if there's something that exists, right? There's something that exists, and they say, right, okay, well, if they don't own it because it was created fraudulently, but it's still there and it's still being used, why should they be able to attack me with it? I thought it was created because my parents gave me a name. So if my parents give me a name, nobody should be able to attack me with it. I thought, well, surely if it's void, I'll just claim it. It's mine, I'll claim it. I thought, right, okay, we'll do that, we'll think about it. So what we've done on the site is say, right, if you've established your birth under common law, right, you've established your position as a man or a woman, he says, so that's fine, you stand under common law. If you turn around and say, well, wait a minute, the statutory system or the state are attacking me, they're using the legal fiction. Well, that's fraudulent, it's void, and it's not theirs. So therefore, if someone was to have it or own it, it should go to the individual who was gifted the name in the first place. So you can claim it. So you can claim it. So if you claim it and make an application to the court, what you do is you apply, you submit an application for ownership. Now the ownership, my name is John Smith, right? So therefore, the legal fiction I have is Mr. John Smith. And the John Smith tends to be in uppercase. Now, on this point as well on common law, I couldn't care less whether it's uppercase, lowercase, whether it's red ink, black ink, couldn't care less. Look, I'm a bloke. If I sign my name, I'll sign it all I want, and that's it. I'm not giving two shits what they think about it. I'll just sign my name. So if I do that, that's fine. And then people say, but if jurisdiction do that, can't do it. So the easy way to do it, right, simple, right? If you want to sign your name, sign it however you want, right? If you want to establish your position, do something simple, right? Put 3 initials after your letter, after your name. Sign your name, after it, put 3 initials, CLC, Common Law Court. That tells people you're claiming common law jurisdiction, right? And a common law court will support you because you're signing it as a man or a woman and you're stating common law jurisdiction. Now you could put uppercase, lowercase, you can use full stops, couldn't care less, as long as you can see 3 initials. If you put that on, that'll nip the whole thing in the bud. You tell them straight away you claim common law jurisdiction, that's how you stand. So that nips that then bud. Now, if we look at the other thing, when we go back to the legal fiction, if you apply for ownership of the legal fiction, because you've established your birth, it's your property, you'll be granted ownership. So the legal fiction when you apply for, he says the legal fiction is the all capital name, which in my case is Mr. John Smith. The business address for the legal fiction, because it is a business, the address you put in is the address that the government have you on. So for example, if you have a driving licence, you have an address on the licence. That's your business address. So you put the business address on. So that's it. And then you confirm that you've recorded your information for birth with the common law court. So you give your number, a reference number you've obtained. Apart from that, you'll then be asked to put your name in, your address where you currently stay, and that the information you're putting in is correct and you're making a valid claim, and that's it. So you get that. For court records, and just to make sure that we obviously keep tabs on people and we know we've got the information, we take a contact number and an email address, and that's it. And then what you do is you type in your name into a box, it's an electronic signature saying that you've submitted the form, you date it, and that the information is truthful, and that's it. And then you claim it. Now, you then can get, if you wanted, you can get another certificate. But the point being is these certificates are only cost. This is basically cover that, they cover the postage and that, it costs £7. If you want something like a passport or a driving licence, you pay £70. In this system, it's £7 when you get a document. You do not have to get it. It's not about money, you don't need it. The only time it comes in useful is if you have to defend yourself. So you present it to the authorities and say, bang, that's what I've got. You don't need it, so it's not money. It's only if you require it. Now, if you have the legal fiction, now I'm going to mention 4 cases, 2 in Scotland, 2 in England. This is what's happened, and this is how it's going to work. In Scotland, we went twice to a court in Livingston. We got the sheriff, the judge, I said, we got him flustered, and because he was flustered, he confirmed he had no jurisdiction over the man, because we got him with the certificates. Now, when we'd done that, he then tried to tell me, say, okay, right, okay, I've no jurisdiction over the man. He tried to turn away and say, hold on a minute, whoa, whoa, whoa. If you're not addressing the man, because he's got no authority, right, what you can't do is you cannot proceed against the legal fiction, because I own the legal fiction with the certificate. I own it, it's stamped by the court. Here it is, bang, done. They've turned round, they can't deal with that. They can't, the Lord Chief Justice, the Justice Minister, nobody can deal with it. It's issued from a common law court. Now, if you think about it, what can they say? Well, they say, well, you can't own it. You can't own that. I said, well, who says? Common law court says I do, it's mine. They say, but you can't own it, it's crown copyright. Crown copyright what? What's that? I don't want to do stuff. I said, that's statute, that's legalese, I'm not interested. That's unlawful. It's void, it's fraudulent, not interested. No, here's my certificate. You can't do that, you can't own it. We say, right, okay, well, I beg to differ. Here's my ownership certificate. Look, it's stamped. So you see, now that being the case, I've got this. I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt. So you turn to the judge and say, right, okay, fine. You're saying I don't own it. Fine, easy. Prove to me how it was set up and who created it. They can't, because they have to admit fraud. They'll never do it. So they haven't done it. Now, in the 4 cases we've covered, we got them with documents. This is what happened. In Scotland, 2 cases. Both cases, with the sheriff, didn't want to discuss it. He had to admit he had no jurisdiction over a man under common law. In 2 occasions, he adjourned the court, said, no, I'm not dealing with this, sorry, not adjourned, 4 weeks, that's it. So he dealt with it twice. Refused to deal with it. The 3rd time the case was convened, we're going there, they changed judges. But because of the weather was bad, he didn't actually turn up, conveniently, and it's now been adjourned another 4 weeks. So they don't want to deal with this, right? But they will have to, and they'll have to address the question. In England, there was 2 people who spoke to who used common law and said, right, this is what we'll do. They've used the documents. Now, one was for a repossession. So they went in, Gary's very, very nervous, went in and said, look, here's my documents. I'd like someone to speak to me. The judge says, no, not allowed it. I'll give you a solicitor, there's a court one here. And he said, no, I don't want to look forget. Here's my paperwork. So the paperwork went in, which the judge had a few days before, so it was submitted. So they can't turn around and say, we're not accepting it, it was there, it was part of the process. So he said, right, the sheriff, it was a female in Birmingham, so the female sat there and said, right, okay, what do you have to say? So the guy just stood up and he gave through the spiel. Look, first of all, my name is, and gave his name, he said, I have a common law birth certificate. I claim common law jurisdiction, you have no personal jurisdiction over me. Right, as you have no personal jurisdiction over me, you can only be addressing the legal fiction. I therefore draw your attention to the document I've submitted. I own the legal fiction. And because I own the legal fiction, you do not have consent or contract with me. Therefore, this should be dismissed. That was it. The judge went utter nut, right? The judge had him thrown out of court, screamed for security and removed him, right? We've actually since found out after, no, this is not did straight away, 2 weeks after we found out that the judge, after throwing him out of court, has made a decision against us, right, for repossession. Right, that's one. So we'll go back to a minute. There's a second case. There was someone I was dealing with and asked for help, served various notices in the court, spoke to him, was getting no joy, but needed some help. So he said, right, okay, I'm going to use this common law court stance. So he's used it to submit the documents. So they got the documents in, which is great. They went with a few witnesses. So when they went, they sat there and they said, right, okay, here, this is my documents, and then explained about the documents. So there was 3 judges this time. The 3 judges sat in court, so they go through the spiel, right, this is that, all the fiction, all the rest of it. The judges turned to one another, right, mumbled something, got up and ran out of the court. And that's it. Now, nobody knew what happened, but the people at court went out afterwards and said, what the hell's happened? We don't know. They found out that when the 3 judges were together, seemingly nobody heard anything, and they whispered, mumbled something, and then they ran out of court. But seemingly they were supposed to have made an order against them. Now, there's a few things that happen here. This is in both cases in England, right? What they've done, according to their rules, they're going to get crucified for, because a statement was made that when they didn't accept the position, or they weren't going to accept the paperwork, they basically just stood, they couldn't do anything, and they wanted to proceed. The statement that was made is, look, hold on a minute, you can't say this when you move into court on the first occasion, you can't do it, because basically it has to be a justifiable reason. But because of their behaviour, you can stand up and say, look, excuse me, with due respect, this hearing is not equitable. I do not trust you, I require you to recuse yourself. And that's it, finished. By rights, they have to recuse themselves. They can no longer take part in the process according to their rules, right? It's rules. They cannot stay because they have no trust. This is, they cannot deal with the case, and any decision they make will be overturned, right? Now, when we've submitted the paperwork, and as I said, everyone's got this paperwork, right? Police, Lord Chief Justice, everyone. Nobody can do anything about it, right? We've put it into the courts. 2 of the courts in Scotland don't want to touch it, they keep adjourning it. No, we're not dealing with it, adjourned. In England, they kick you out of court, or if you're in court, they quickly mumble something and nobody can hear, they run out. Now, if 3 judges sit in a panel in an English court and they turn around and they're going to rule against you, they establish their authority and they tell you where you are. If you give them lip, they'll throw you inside, they'll lock you up. They'll tell you what happened. They didn't. They mumbled something nobody heard. They didn't tell anyone the decision, the public, and then they ran out of the court. Who does that? They cannot do what they've done because they have no authority and no jurisdiction. That's established with the contracts, the birth certificates, the deeds, and ownership. So that's the way it works. Now, I'll ask you something just now. Many people, if this is happening, it's only 4 courts, and there's about another 3 or 4 that's going to be used shortly. So these paperwork is being used just now in the courts, and they cannot deal with it, right? If you imagine just now, it's not civil, it's not criminal, right? Anything, it doesn't matter. If there's a court hearing and people want to stand under common law and say, look, here's my certificates, here's my stance, take away control of the courts, it stops the whole thing. It stops the system. They cannot deal with it. If people in 100 courts put in the paperwork, that's the end of it. They can't deal with it. No courts, no solicitors, no judges, nothing. They cannot deal with this because they have to tackle the issue, which they can't do because it's a people's court. It's a lawful court. But the people have to use it. If the people want to use it, they stand together. You may not personally have to go to court, but if you wish to stand under common law and support people, record your birth. Free of charge, doesn't do anything. You're not asked for anything, you're just saying, do you stand under common law? If you do, do that. It supports people, and it gives obviously a larger backing to people who have to go to court to defend themselves. So you can use that there. On a final point, I'm aware obviously things have been overrunning today. I'll cover another issue. This is because of these documents. Now, we had an update, this is why I'm going to mention it. in relation to people and look at different things. Now, it's not, as I said, to people, it's people's court. So the people come up and say, yeah, this is happening to me, don't like this is going on, and so they can't do it. Now, the state system, when they're going about the banks and mortgage companies and all the rest of it, look at your property. For those of you who are lucky enough to own a property, right, chances are you've got a mortgage, right? You may have additional charges in it, it's fine, it doesn't matter. Right, think about your property. Your property is recorded under statutory law with the land registry. So therefore their rules apply. If you, I said, want to look at the deeds and say, well, hold on, I'm not keeping that, right, okay, who owns the property? You look at the deeds, title deeds, the fictitious name, the legal entity owns the property, not you the man, right? I thought, right, okay, fine, well, that doesn't work either because they've got control over that as well. But all of them might stop, think, wait a minute, no, they don't. You have ownership of the fictitious name, the legal entity. You've recorded your birth. You now own the fictitious entity. If you own the legal entity, right, you can do what you want then. Because you have it, their system doesn't apply. Their rules don't apply. So therefore, their rules regarding mortgages and registration don't apply. So what you can do is say, right, I'm moving it into statutory. Out of statutory into common law, right? You say, right, okay, but the thing is, it's a legal fiction that has it. So, right, okay, well, how do we get around that? So, right, well, I'll tell you what we'll do. If you own it and you own the legal fiction, it's your property. You can sell it. It's your property. Their rules don't apply. Sell it. But if you think about it, what you're entitled to do is you can actually say, right, here's my legal fiction, Mr. John Smith. That's my property. I own the title, it's mine. I'm going to move it common law jurisdiction, but there's no titles there. There's no legal entities. Right. Well, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll take Mr. John Smith, I'm going to sell my house, but I'm going to sell it to John Smith, the man, for a nominal fee of £1. So you sell it. Because you've moved it now into a common law system, and it's now recorded under common law with one transaction on the website. Right? By doing that, you've taken it out of the statutory system. Now, we're not condoning, and again, this is in common law, so when you're looking at the basic principles, cause no harm, loss or injury. Now, believe it or not, it says there are some valid contracts between individuals which you would have to uphold, that's fine. Anything that's unlawful doesn't apply. Now, whether or not it's lawful or not, this is, and I've got one opinion to that, but if you take your mortgage out of the system and say, no, here, it's under common law, that's done, in my opinion, for one reason only, to protect yourself. If somebody attacks you, it's under common law, a common law jury deals with it, to the people, in a common law court, right? So that's it. If you do that and you're moving it, what then happens to the statutory side? Well, what you have to do is you have to let them know what you've done. So you inform the land registry. You tell them what they've done, tell them the operative verb, you say, look, this is what I've done, it's my property. You then turn around and say, well, there's a mortgage on it. Right, you can deal with the mortgage company, another contract, or do what you want, or say, well, it's not legal, it's not lawful, it's fraudulent, so look, that's fine. You can do what you want. But technically, the charges that are attached under statutory law no longer apply. So you move it over to common law. Now, under what we had in that court is when the sheriff was a sheriff in Scotland, he says, you can't do that. I said, yeah, we've done that. He said, but you can do it. I said, yes, we can, it's done, it's sold. And he said, no, I'm not happy. We had actually passed a document, the sales document, which is one of the deeds, to the opposing solicitor, right? He was after a repossession order. He looked at it, it's only 3 pages, he looked at it and he realised what it was, right? He looked at it, and then the sheriff was getting ratty and telling me, I'm not doing this, I'm not having it, you can't do that. I said, look, we're not trying to avoid paying it. If it's a lawful debt, it'll be paid. Under common law, someone can attach a claim to a title. They're allowed to do that, right? It's honourable, right? But if someone wants to attach a claim to a title, they have to go through a common law court and they have to have the debt verified by a jury, right? So if it's not a lawful debt, it's not attached in common law, right? And if someone attaches a debt under common law, it must be a man or a woman, not a company, right? So we turned around and said, bang, that's what I've done. The sheriff said, I'm not having this. I said, I'm not interested. So he turned to the opposing solicitor and said, look, I'm not doing this. Look, you wanted a decree for repossession, right? He says, I'll grant it if you want. The guy looked at it and said, no, I'm sorry, I've changed my mind. No, we don't want it. Now, he was there, employed by the mortgage company to repossess the house. He looked at the document and said, no, I'm not touching it. Now, he's actually quite clever, I'll give him credit for it, because what he realised is that sheriff didn't want to take this on. He says, I'm not touching this here, you've requested this, here, you can have it, do you want this order? So if the guy requested and went ahead, the solicitor's at fault, right? The solicitor looked at the document, and he realised that it was a lawful sale, right? That the title was not owned by the fiction now, and it's sold, and it's stamped by a court. He looked at it and said, I'm not touching this, not, forget it, I'm not touching it. The sheriff says, do you want this or no? I'm not wanting the order. The sheriff then turned and said, well, I'm not dealing with this, no, sorry, adjourned 4 weeks, and that's it, he went to a court, that's it, done. Now, what we've done is, as part of the process, we've informed the land registry, and in Scotland, it's called the registrar. So we've informed them. But when you inform them, the mortgage companies and everyone else, we say, look, this is what we've done. In England and Wales, they give back a set document, exactly the same document for everyone. They say, right, bang, and this is it. Basically, look, the sale of property in England and Wales is governed by an Act of Parliament, blah, 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 we go on. He says, and as far as we're concerned, we do not understand your paperwork, therefore we're doing nothing, it's just left, right? We're not registering this, so it's left at that. So what we did, said, right, okay, we went back to them. We said, right, first of all, I'm not interested in registering anything with you. You were wrote to explain, this is what happened, you were informed. The letter you got was for information purposes, that's all. You have no control over the property, you cannot touch it, it's out of statutory jurisdiction, it's under common law jurisdiction, you've been informed of that fact, end of story. It's for information purposes only. Yesterday I got an email from a guy who, after doing the follow-up letter, he said, look John, I've got this back. The land registry have now given a second letter, completely different. The land registry now says, right, okay, thank you for your letter dated such and such a date, right, okay, we've noted your document, your letter and documents, we have now retained this and attached it to the title, we're taking no action. Now, they've not dismissed that document, they've not thrown it away, they've not returned it. They've actually accepted that this letters went in with information and confirmed the fact of law. It's confirmed what's happened and the property has been moved away. They can do nothing about it. And they've actually said, right, we've retained the paperwork. It's attached to the title of their record. That's it, end of story. They can't do anything, it's done. So that's a result. The cases, the other case, it was Loughborough, I think it was. There's a case there just now, which obviously we'll be speaking about. The behaviour of the judge there and also the one in Birmingham will be overturned because the decisions they made, they cannot do. Because they cannot make a decision because of their behaviour. They had no authority to do so, and according to their rules, they are not allowed to do this. They'll be hung, drawn and quartered by their own authorities. He says, so the paperwork will go in explaining the position from the common law court, and then that will be done and dusted. There'll be a bit of argument. He says that these people in the statutory system do not want to accept these documents. They don't want to do it, but they can't do anything about it. Nobody gets locked up, nothing happens to anyone. It's a people's court. If they try to do anything against the documents and the verdicts of a common law court, they are committing a crime against the people. Right? Now, as I say, as we get back to the first point I highlight, this is not one individual, right? This is a lawful remedy which is available for men and women, and it's if you suffer a wrong. Now, it's great that there's various movements and people are now starting to waken up, and you need to get people educated, you need to get groups, that's fine. I agree with all that, that's fine. What I don't agree with is if there's a child being abused by the state tomorrow, being removed from the parents, someone is losing a property, they'll lose a job, they're being made bankrupt, and families are suffering. I don't like that. I don't agree with that. There has to be a lawful remedy. This will give you a result. He said, now you can either use this system or you can use the statutory system. The choice is yours. I've got cases, I'll get one more case. He says, for myself, that's fine. This is available to people. It's not one person. It's basically the people's common law court. That's where the authority comes from. If you use this, just now we're starting on things. We've got people in different countries wanting to use this as well. It's available to everyone. They can use it, and they are signing up to do this. It's not about money. You don't pay for a court case if you convene it. All you need to do is suffer a wrong. If you suffer a wrong, you say, right, I'm convening a court. Choose any building that can convene a court, holds 18 bodies, that's court officials and jury members, and there's a gallery for the public. So providing you get reasonable premises with facilities, you can do it. Apart from that, there's no cost involved, no paperwork, no money, nothing. You keep it basic, you keep it simple. The facility's here for you to use, should you wish to do so. Now, as I said just now, if you turn around and say, yeah, okay, well, I quite like this, I like this idea, the only way, well, it's not, it is working. This is 9 months, and what's happened in 9 months is huge, and what's about to happen in the next 9 months is huge. I know what's coming because of the contract and the discussions we're having with people, but the point is, the system now, the statutory system, not only in England and Wales, but in Scotland as well, and you go into court, we've stopped repossessions, dead, we can't repossess it. We're stopping court actions, and although in 2 courts they've actually tried to make a decision, they couldn't do so until they threw someone out of the court, right? So they get a defender in who's confirmed that he's a man, and not only that, he owns illegal fiction. The judge doesn't like it, say, well, okay, I'm not dealing with Calvin in court. Has him physically thrown from the court, and they say, right, okay, I'm not going to rule against him. Can't do that. So we'll sort that out. The other court, you've got 3 judges. 3 judges are supposed to make a decision. They didn't speak up in court. They didn't claim authority. They had no jurisdiction. They mumbled to one another very quietly. Nobody heard it, and then they run out of court. Now, this is what this is doing. It's a common law court. It's documents. Where have you known that 3 judges run out of court in England and mumble a judgment and nobody can hear? Where else has someone took them on and dared someone to recuse himself from court, use the documents to confirm their position, and then the judge couldn't deal with it? It's not that they had no authority. They didn't want to claim authority. They couldn't do it. It was dead in the water. So they had to remove the individual from court. So had them thrown out of court, and they said, right, okay, they're not here, I'll rule against them. They can't do that. So we'll get back to them. But the thing is, when's this happened before? It hasn't. This is happening here. It's giving you a lawful remedy, and you can use this for yourselves. If you want to do that, fine. All I would say is, look, if you like the idea, God forbid you had to go into one of these places of business. But the point being is, if you like the information, you like common law, you are disgusted with what's happening with the statutory system, all you need to do is come and say, right, what to do is I'm going to call them above. If you have children and you turn around and say, right, I have a child, I've got to call my child. You can actually take ownership of your child to protect your child. Because your child's an infant, if you have a child, a boy or a girl, what you can actually do is you can obtain ownership of the legal fiction. You say, so because they're a junior, once you record their birth, you can then say, right, okay, they have a legal fiction attached to it, but because they're a child, I'm going to apply for ownership. The parents can both apply for joint ownership, so you can do a joint ownership, a partnership agreement, so you can do that. It says you take ownership of the child, which means this child is protected against the state. So you've got the option to do that. The facilities are there to allow people to protect themselves. It's up to you. If you want to use it, fine. The more people that do this, the more people that register or record themselves or give a declaration, whatever you want to call it, do that, you stand together. It's like the Chartist movement, it's like basically the Article 60 we're arguing is fine. The more people that find out about these things, the better. But if you're being attacked, you can protect yourself. And not only that, we're hoping in the next few months, it's not me again, people have actually turned around and said, no, we're not happy with this. What we'd like to do is we have cases against the state. We want to do that. We want to deal with this. I thought, fine, okay. So they're sitting down to discuss it, and I think in the near future, in the next few months, there may be 4 cases against the statutory authorities. So they'll be taken to courts in England, common law courts, and they'll be prosecuted. Now, there may be civil charges, there may be criminal charges. The jury will sit, listen to evidence, they'll be cited to appear, so they'll get orders to attend court, they'll be cited, they'll have to present themselves in court, there'll be a trial, and then the jury of their peers will sit there and make judgment, and they will issue a sentence. So this will be fine. Right? Yeah, well, we've got plenty there, but the point is, if we do this just now, and it's actually covered and people are aware how it works, literally 2 or 3 weeks later you can convene more. You can convene them at wherever you want. As long as if you have a common law court, right, it follows basic principles. It's common law, right? It says, so if you want to convene a court, say, right, I'm going to convene a court, I have suffered a wrong, I'm going to do that. Right, I'll convene a court, I only want 2 jury members. They're my friends. I've got 2 jury members. Not happening. It says 12 jury members. If it's a unanimous decision, we'll accept it. It has to be unanimous. So it's a unanimous decision or you don't get the judgment. So that's the thing. It's an impartial jury. It's obviously selected randomly from the public. If you put up a notice on the premises, you have to give 24 hours notice and say, I'm convening a court on the premises. It's open to the public can appear. If they appear just now, you require, say, 12 jury members. You explain what the process is, what you're doing, and say, right, I'm convening a court, I need 12 jury members. Providing they've not been done for murder or something like that, this is a fine. You can serve in a jury. They stand as a man or a woman, not as a fiction, they put up their hand. Now, if you have 24 people wanting to be in a jury of 12, you can't have it. But again, you've got to be, so you can't just pick and choose. So what you do is you have 24 people, you can explain, oh look, sorry, I'm too much. It says, we only need 12. Do you still want to be on, or does somebody mind stepping down? If they say, no, we all want to be on, all you do is you show them all a number. So you get a number, 24 numbers, put them into a hat, pull out 12 numbers randomly, random selection, and you've got your jury, and that's it, and you conduct the trial. Providing you have the paperwork, it's conducted lawfully, you have slight leeway to change things, but providing you follow a reasonable format, that's lawful. It's a lawful court and a lawful judgment, and basically you have the facility, no cost to you, to use that to display the information, what you've done. So it can be recognised to you there, and obviously used as a central point. That's all that is for information purposes. We've played about with it, and we've actually put on some messages now. On the page here, at the end, it says more at the end. If you go on the facility here, there's a drop-down box. We actually create 1 or 2 cartoons with silly things, but it's just on subject matter. It's an American company that put on, but we've created, it's like a cartoon news channel. It's called CLC News, which is Common Law Court News. And there's different subjects, funny names. There's a judge that's a whistleblower, so it's amusing, but it covers relevant information. We can't do much about the material, with the content and things like that, and about the software program. But what we want you to pay attention to is the actual content, the information. It says it gets out the message, and there is contact details on the site if you need any help or assistance. But it says the court is for the people. Now, hopefully, if you take this opportunity to spread the word, to record births, to get people on board, that's all you need. The more that are involved, the easier it becomes. Now, we have people involved just now that are dealing with this. We have small numbers, but it's still working. If people sign up and stand under common law, they record their birth, you've got the weight of the people behind you. Now, you may not suffer a wrong just now. Next year, you might, your children might. But the point is, if you record their birth, you're just making a declaration you were born, and you're not accepting the statutory system. Now, you don't have to come out of the statutory system because the legal fiction still exists. You own it. So you're still entitled to use NHS. You're entitled to do whatever you want. You've got a driving licence, not a problem. The only time you should actually have to use the legal fiction is to protect yourself. And by obtaining ownership, they can't touch you. So that's all you use it for. But as I say, if you get the information out, let people know, develop the idea, the choice is yours. If you want to use it, the facility is available and it is working. As I say, the choice is yours. Okay, sorry. 1 or 2 questions? Sorry, I don't know how we're doing for questions, but I think obviously there's 1 or 2. Is it okay? We've got a couple of minutes? Yeah. Sorry, questions, gentlemen?
I'd like to ask, when the state tries to take money off a person for maybe going a bit over what they've set as a speed limit, for instance, extortion of money and so on.
Yeah.
Can it work in that situation? Because
Yes.
this is just a scam.
Well, the end of the race is what you do now.
Can you repeat the question?
Yeah, sorry, the gentleman was asking just now, which is a simple situation, which is a driving offence, maybe going over the speed limit and being hit with a fine or a penalty. Can it be used for something like this? Well, yes, it can. The point being, it's only a minor thing, but if you establish this position and your position under common law with the authorities, they have no claim in you at all. So basically, any charges that they have are null and void. It doesn't matter. But basically what you have to do is explain to them your stance, because they're standing. Now, at this moment in time, as I've just seen you shout, I don't know you from Adam, at the end of the day, you haven't confirmed to me that you were even born. I see you. So I presume you've been born, but under common law, and according to their courts, you don't exist. They don't accept common law. So you need some authority to back you up. If you claim common law and say, right, I want to use common law, get something behind you. Record your birth. Free of charge, you can then say, I have recorded the birth. It's an official record, I exist, and it's proven with a common law court. You have the court behind you. If you do that and say, right, as such, your statutory rules don't apply. Oh, and by the way, I've obtained the legal fiction as well, sort of politely. But basically that's how it works. We had one or two things which I will mention just now. I was speaking to a couple of people. There's a guy from the Isle of Wight. It's what we've actually done is they ask for information. Now again, this is not about an individual, it's not about me. But then we keep getting hit with questions about driving as well, and somebody tell me, say, yeah, okay, but I keep having a run in the police. They won't accept this, they won't do that, they won't do that. They say, can we not do something about it? I thought, like what? They say, yeah, but can we not get a driving licence? I said, no. I said, look, they've got a driving licence. They said, do you want? I said, no. He says, there's too many complications with insurance and everything. Look, keep it simple. We'll look at it. And then they asked about it. He said, yeah, but if I stand and say, I've recorded my birth under common law, we've got documents here, right? It's documents, they're actually quite nice. In fact, the Scottish court system are actually really impressed with it. Because it's £7, they do ones, a minimum charge, I think it's £16, right? It says for a deed for a house, a property, it's £36. These are £7 for anything, any deed. You open them up, they're quite nicely bound. It says you open up there, it says it's got the courts there with the flags in from the side. When you do that, excuse me, you open it up and turn over, that's a certificate for the legal fiction. So it's there, it's fine. They're actually quite impressive. You've got your reference, some of your details. Now, individuals turn around, I'll get in there in a minute, they've actually turned around and said, look, we'd like something else to back us up. Is there not something we do? So we spoke to a few people and said, right, okay, fine, there is something else we can do. Should the people want it? And then I spoke to a couple of guys, and then one of the guys told me, he said, yeah, okay, yeah, brilliant, I think we want to do this. Now, the simple thing being is, this is not about money. We don't have money, right? Given what happened to me, and the fact that I have a website, it says it costs money to do that, but it doesn't matter. This is for a lawful remedy for people. But they say, yeah, but we'd like X, Y, and Z. Can you do it? I thought, well, yeah, we can do it for a court, but we don't have money for it. Now, the point being is, one of the things you can do is that there is machinery you can get, it says for that, and I said to get a system in here, if you wanted it, you could actually set up something similar, which would be like a credit card. No, it's not credit, it's not money, but basically it's like an ID card. Now, you say, right, okay, well, why do I need that? Well, the point being is, if you have this machine, basically what it does is it's issued from a common law court, right? So first of all, it becomes a lawful document, right? And then turn around and say, right, okay, well, what does it do for me? Well, first of all, if you supply a JPEG, a picture of yourself, like a photo ID, your passport, goes on the card. Yeah, I said, yeah, okay, so what, I've got a phone in the card. What does that do? I said, hold on a minute. Did you record your birth under common law? Yeah. Right, okay, that goes on. So your common law birth name goes on. Underneath the registration number goes on. So you've got a recorded birth. So that's there. And say, right, okay, but what else? Well, hold on a minute. Do you own the legal fiction? Yeah, the legal fiction goes on. So I would have John Smith, right? The registration for my birth, Mr. John Smith, and the registration for ownership. So I own it, right? At the bottom, the date of birth. So I've got a card on me just now. I'm going to deal with the statutory system. You say, well, no, we're going to do X, Y, or Z to you. You've got a parking ticket or something. You say, no, I don't think so. Here, no, here's my card. Common law court document. I have it. Photographic proof, date of birth. I've recorded my birth. I claim common law jurisdiction. Not only that, I own the legal fiction. Here's my registration number. They can't touch it because it's a common law court document. So the guy says, yeah, we like that. Can you do it? I said, no, I can't. We don't have a machine. So again, I don't have money for it. I'm not asking for money. And then he said, yeah, well, will they donate or something? So I'm not taking donations. I'm not doing that. I said, right, what would it cost you? And he said, right, what we'll do, we can pitch it. And I said, we'll do it. If you wanted it, they set up for £25 for people if they wanted it. If they want to do that, they can do it. We don't have a machine. And he said, no, we want that. And I said, right, well, I can't give you it because we don't have a machine. He said, no, my friends want it. I said, I'll tell you what we'll do here. He said, you want it? We're not taking money for donations. if somebody wanted to give a machine, it'd be nice, but I don't want to ask for money. I'm not asking for money. So look, if people want a card, fine. This is a machine can be delivered in a couple of days, so it's easy getting. But to cover the cost of the machine, you're looking for about 60 orders. If people say, oh, I want one of them cards, if they're happy to use the site and go onto the site on the homepage and make a donation to the site for £25 exactly to the penny, that will give them a card. Now, it's a donation, but because they've lodged it and we've got their name, we'll give you the card free of charge. So basically, you get, it's not a donation as such, you're paying for the card, but once we get the 60 deposits, we'll get the machine and get them out. Now, there are people here today who I've met, and it was part of the reason I came down today, they've actually used some of the documentation. They're actually having some success with it as well. They've seen how it worked, they've seen obviously how the court helps, and this is the information it's going to, and again, they've seen the quality and the sort of service you get as well as. Now, I said, it's not for money, it's not about that. This is, again, this is for money, go away and get a better job. Basically, this is to help people with lawful remedy. The facility is there if you want to use it, fine. Things like the cards, if you were to do that and replicate this, not only here but internationally, we've got common law births being confirmed in America, this is South Africa, New Zealand, Australia, when a guy in Germany ordering a certificate a couple of weeks ago. We've got piles of people ordering these things. But if you set this up and it's done to protect the public, it's setting up a system you say, look here, we don't worry about your statutory system now. Let them do what they want. If they want to play Mickey Mouse in their courts, leave them there. It doesn't affect us, we're not interested. If you want to use common law, use it. It's your right. It's there, it exists. You can use it, you can't stop it. Now the courts, it's not a matter of doing it in a year's time. The common law courts exist, they have happened. The system is there, the documents are there, the registration is there. Property is now being moved out under common law jurisdiction. We've got a guy who had recorded his house property in London, says, right, I'm recording my house, he's a wife, says, right, I'm taking under common law jurisdiction. So he's done it, came back a couple of weeks later, says, we've got a question. He said, we've got this, it says international here, common law courts, Great Britain and international. It says, can we own land abroad? I thought, you own land? What do you mean property? No property, just land. He says, his wife is Italian, he's from the Ivory Coast. He says, I have some land there, she has some land in Italy. Can we record that under common law? I says, yeah, if you want, it's not a problem. So they're in the process of doing that. We've got the Republic Island, Northern Ireland, England, Scotland, all doing it. So properties are coming in. Now, this is working with the common law system. It's there to protect the people, it protects individuals, it protects men, women, and property. So the facility is there. If you want to do something with the cards, we are actually taking deposits from cards. We have in some just now, so we don't need a lot of orders. But if people want to use that, automatically for a deposit of £25, they will get this. This is they'll get the cards, allocate them, and that gives you the verification. You can only do that if you can only do that if you obtain or you've recorded your birth under common law. One, and secondly, you've applied for the legal fiction. So when you've done that, you can then get the card. If you don't own the legal fiction, or you haven't confirmed your birth under common law, you won't get the card, whether you want it or not. Right? When you confirm your birth free of charge, and you obtain ownership of the fiction free of charge, you can then say, right, I want a card, so the court will issue it if you want it. Okay, sorry, any last questions? There was a gentleman at the back, so I'll get you in a minute. Sorry, gentleman.
Remedy in their administrative courts, their business rates, and try to fit it from their administrative courts to the common law courts.
Yeah.
However, how I understand it, the second that you go and play in their courts, playing in their rules, to date, have we had anything that's been ratified, i.e. remediated, settled on their end, to say that this matter is now closed? It sounds like we've got a lot of adjournment. I'm still going on.
Yeah.
Is there one that's set?
Well, what I'm going to say just now is, sorry, just so everyone else, in case you didn't hear, he's actually speaking about the statutory system and the statutory court, saying, look, we've got control, we're doing this here. Now, when you go in there and try to use a common law argument in documents, you say, well, has there been a final conclusion and a decision on the cases? Unfortunately, at this moment in time, no, there's only been 4 cases. There's another case going in this Wednesday. This is, we'll hope for address, but the point is, all I can say is that the 2 cases in Scotland have both been adjourned. In Birmingham, they actually threw someone out of the court, and in Loughborough, the 3 judges running the court. So that's happened. Now, this, if this didn't work, this wouldn't have happened. Decisions would have been made and they would have stood. And if anything, the people dared to take them on would have been thrown in jail. He says that the documents would have been discredited, thrown out and everything. That hasn't happened, right? It will happen. And the thing is, when you go into a court, it's not a court, it's a place of business. So when you go in there, you don't accept their jurisdiction. If you go there, it's to protect yourself and it's to claim jurisdiction, common law jurisdiction, and to state your case. When you do that, you take away control. Okay? I think we've got time for one more last one.
You say you're claiming the common law fiction
Yeah.
of the birth certificate, but have you had any argument back from, well, if they own it?
Right.
So who, in the eyes of, we say, the Crown Estates, then why? They put the birth certificate, they put their copyright on it.
Yeah.
So surely somebody for Queen Station on this, there must be somebody come back to account right?
Right, no, well, what I was going to say, sorry, the question, the last one, just in case you hadn't heard, he says, look, the documents here, like a birth certificate under common law, when it's been presented to authorities, have they come back with a rebuttal or says yes or no, or it doesn't exist, or you can't do it? Well, what I've said to you just now, and I know, because I've helped people, and we've dealt with people, and they've seen the documents, it's went to the Lord Chief Justice in England, it's went to the Minister for Justice in Downing Street, it's went to statutory courts in England and Scotland, it's went to the Land Registry, it's went to the equivalent in Scotland, which is registrars, it's went to the police, it's went to banks, it's went to mortgage companies. Not one person will even acknowledge the documents. Not one. They've not rebutted, not said anything. And we've actually waved in front of them, they've got them. Now, not only that, they're having to come back. Because they're not refusing it, they exist. They're on court records. They're part of the records. They cannot come round and dispute them. They don't want to dispute them. They have no argument. The fact they exist and they're on court records, and even the Land Registry are coming back and saying, right, we can't touch it. Not one person's doing anything about it. So therefore, what does that tell you? You form your opinion. Yeah? Well done. Sorry. Right. Thanks for your time. I'll pass it back to
Can I just say one thing, John? Because the judges won't do what they should be doing, is it because if they actually ruled against you, they'd be taking on their public and private, they'd be basically against their own.
Sorry, I'll give you a closing comment just now to answer Tom's question, right? What you've got to remember now, right, the common law court, this is the difference here. The statutory authorities, now, we've mentioned judges just now, all authorities, individuals are protected by the state, right, in all positions. You name it, they're protected. Councils, authorities, banks, everyone, they're all protected, right, including judges. Now, they've got to be held accountable in a common law court, and the people will try them. That's it. Judges and authorities can no longer turn around, commit crimes, abuse people, target people, cause harm, injury and loss to people, and not be held accountable. They will with a common law court. Okay?
It becomes liable. Okay. So before we finish up, is there anybody who would like to, because it's the Chartist movement, brilliant stuff from John, from David, from all the speakers, Will, it's been all excellent, but this is the Chartist movement, and we need to grow. What John's saying about he needs the people, what David's saying is about the people, all of these are remedies, but they're not remedies without the people. The people are the remedy, and this is why the Chartist movement is here. It's never existed in modern day, but it does today. So all those who would like to start their own little group, wherever you are, I think Will would take some names down, would you, Will?
Yes, I can do that.
Yeah, and contact the Chartist website, and we will move forward with, and as you've seen, Theresa May, we showed her that she came down to earth with a bump. Well, let's carry on and carry it right into Parliament and tell those criminals there that we are the law and they are our servants.
Yes.
And that's where it's got to start. So thank you for coming, and brilliant.